Hi guys, it's ASBYT and this is the Huawei Watch GT2 Pro. Now this is the third edition of the Watch GT2 series, and like its name suggests, it is the most complete, most premium watch so far. But it's not perfect, as you'll see, and like with any third edition, it has a lot to live up to after the successes of the first two. Huawei really have repeated a winning formula here, but it's not quite as simple as that, and there are a few things you will need to know going in, but first, let's start at the beginning. Quick disclaimer, Huawei reached out to sponsor this video, but as always, all views are my own, both good and bad. So the change in design is subtle on the Pro, but there's no denying it's a beauty. And even though this watch is designed to be used for health and fitness, with some really impressive features which we'll get to, there is no doubt about it, the 46.7mm GT2 Pro is for those who want that air of elegance. It's a very dressy smartwatch. It's probably the most expensive, most premium looking and feeling smartwatch I've tested so far. Titanium body, ceramic back and a sapphire glass face covering the 1.39-inch AMOLED display make for a truly exquisite device. And one great thing here is the fact that because you have the dials actually sitting on top of that bezel, it gives you that illusion of that full diameter, which again likens the GT2 Pro to a classy dress watch. Kind of if James Bond were to wear a smartwatch. And no, before you start asking, I'm not going to be the next James Bond. I actually turned it down, believe it or not. Definitely didn't want me to be James Bond. The sapphire glass material actually reaches 9 on the Mohs hardness scale, and in comparison, diamonds, which are pretty much scratch proof, are 10 on the scale, and most glass is roughly around 6 or 6.5. So these combination of materials really make the GT2 Pro durable as well, kind of beauty and brawn. Don't do that. This watch also comes with a kind of grey-brown leather strap, but in the box you also get a black fluoro elastomer one as well. So if you did want to dress the watch down, you can do. So we get it, it looks really nice and premium, but what are some of the standout features? Well, of course we have the much talked about SpO2 or blood oxygen saturation measurer, which calculates how much oxygen is present in your blood. Helpful if you suffer from lung or heart conditions, and also if you're into high intensity or extreme sports as well, and if you work a lot in high altitudes, because the oxygen levels up there are obviously much lower. Average scores will generally be in the mid to high 90s, and anywhere under 90 for a prolonged period of time could be a cause for concern. Although, of course, like with any current smartwatch that has this feature, these measurements are guides only and should not be treated as official medical counts. The watch also uses an upgraded low power consumption heart rate monitoring technology, which with a 6-in-1 LED lens helps the light to penetrate through blood and bring a continuous and accurate heart rate count. Combined with an AI smart heart rate algorithm, the watch will also alert you if your heart rate gets a little bit too high or a little bit too low, which is quite handy. As well as heart rate, there's also stress monitoring, step counter, sleep tracking, and up to 100 plus workout modes, all available to track within the Huawei Health app, which is pretty detailed and easy to navigate. If you want access to some of these modes, not in the app, and you want it straight from the watch, you have 2 crown buttons on the right hand side, which provide shortcut access to various menu items, and the bottom one can be customized to quick launch to your desired destination. We also have the much desired always on display feature, which on this watch I absolutely love, because you can choose between having a digital one and an analog one, and the analog one just looks straight fire, especially when you can customize the hour hand color as well, and I've chosen red. I think it looks pretty sick. Now, of course, having an always on display feature on, it will drain the battery a little bit more, but you really don't have to worry in the battery department, because you get up to around 2 weeks battery in normal use conditions. So even with always on display on, I've had absolutely no problems whatsoever. It's been brilliant. This thing goes for days and days and days. A lot of this battery performance comes as a direct result of Huawei's self-developed low-power wearable Kirin A1 chip that powers it. Charging has been really nice and quick, and you get wireless charging as well, which is really, really handy. So it should work with pretty much any Qi-enabled wireless charging, and it's the first watch in the series to support reverse wireless charging as well. So you can charge your watch using a compatible smartphone that also offers that feature. The Kirin A1 also helps to create an, on the whole, really nice and smooth experience. On the whole, you still don't get smartphone style performance from the likes of these. No watch currently does that. We are still a little bit behind when it comes to the power of the chips that are used in smartwatches, and that is something to consider because the future is potentially changing fairly rapidly, but more on that in a second. The features of the watch that I've mentioned so far pretty much run across the series as a whole, but there's a couple of new modes on here which are quite interesting. There's a new golf driving range mode, which can analyse your swing posture, monitoring average backswing, average downswing, average swing tempo, average swing speed, and fastest swing. There is also a new skiing mode to add to the already expansive 15 other professional workout modes, including amongst others, running, climbing, cycling, hiking, and swimming with its 5 ATM rating. Once your workouts are over, the smartwatch will stop tracking and generate a data report for you. So it's really simple to monitor your progress. The GT2 Pro can also auto-detect 6 workout modes, and all you need to do is simply press yes, that is correct. You don't need to update or adjust any settings whatsoever. It will just go straight into that workout mode, which I think is really handy, especially if you repeat a lot of workout modes like walking, hiking, etc. And speaking of hiking, if you're out and about on a walk or a hike and you get lost, it has a GPS route back feature. So if you don't have your phone on you, it'll still enable you to get home safely, with voice guidance too. You can also download music to your watch to use when you're out with its 4 GB of storage, and you get notified of changing weather conditions. Swiping down on the weather section gives you access to sunrise, sunset, and ocean tide times, and with its built-in barometric altimeter, you can be aware of the air pressure conditions around you and can activate severe weather alerts in settings even when your smartwatch is offline. Again, really useful if you're out and about on a very changeable day. Sunny 1 minute, thunderstorm the next. No thank you, I'm going to avoid that. My watch has told me it's time to go. See you later. Before we get to the big discussion about this watch, a couple more features. You have Remote Shutter 3, which allows you to activate the shutter on your Huawei smartphone camera by pressing the camera icon. You can control calls as well, accepting or rejecting to your heart's content, and you can, of course, customize the watch face also. There's not an abundance of available faces, but I certainly feel like there is enough options to customize your watch to your preference, and my personal favorite is this black tie one, because again, the next James Bond... No? Still not? Okay. One cool feature, if you do decide to spice up your watch face a little bit outside of the sort of built-in custom watch faces that you can choose from, is One-Hop Watch Face 1. It allows you to port any image from your smartphone to your watch with just one tap using NFC, providing your phone has NFC, of course. Now, outside of that, you can't install third-party watch faces and you can't respond to notifications. It's simply, you see it, you decide whether you want to then go to your phone to respond. And that leads me back to software and hardware and my original point at the start. How does the 3rd edition live up to the first 2? And should you buy it now? Like with all Huawei GT2 watch devices, it is running with Huawei's Light OS. It's not new, but it definitely feels like it's been optimized marginally better on the Pro than the previous in the series. Certainly not night and day, but it just feels that little bit slightly smoother. But that might just be me. But with the 4 GB of storage and 32 MB of RAM, we're pretty much looking at the same internals as the other 2 in the series. So if you already have a GT2 or GT2e, it's a little bit harder for me to recommend because it's not too much different internally with the Pro. Also, with the turn of the year almost upon us and rumours of brand new exciting software and hardware from Huawei, are there going to be big leaps next year from them in a few months' time? Obviously, time will tell. We don't know for sure, but it is, again, something to consider. Do you bite the bullet now and buy a pretty brilliant watch, or do you wait a few months? Maybe something is drastically different. Again, who knows? With all that being said, if you currently don't own one of the previous GT2 watches, or you're just simply a sucker for that brand new premium looking design, and I can't blame you on that one, it really is a beaut, then this is by far the most complete and my favourite Huawei watch going. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the Huawei Watch GT2 Pro. Is it the best smartwatch going right now? Is there something better for a similar price? All links will be left in the video description below, so you can go through and check it out if you want more information or indeed want to go and purchase it from the Huawei website. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Check out my other videos as well on similar products, other smartwatches that you might want to check out in a similar sort of area and price. Subscribe if you're new and love everything tech. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Do just what you want.